Welcome to Nuke's Fitness Podcast. My name is Manouk Vink, and after having struggled with my body image and my fitness journey for more than 10 years, leading me to all sorts of extremes, I have now finally cracked the code on how you can achieve a fit and toned physique without extremes and restrictions. Now, being a certified nutritionist and personal trainer, I have made it my mission to help women achieve their body goals by feeling empowered through fitness instead of being afraid of foods and being controlled by the fitness industry. In this podcast, I will be sharing with you tried and true methods on how you can finally achieve your dream body and tell you the secrets most coaches won't. So if you are tired of working your ass off without getting results, or you feel like you're putting in all the work but not seeing change in the mirror, this podcast is for you. I will be dropping some fitness truth bombs so you can start taking control of your body goals while still enjoying life. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the show. Hello guys, oh my god, I am so embarrassed. I have been terrible at recording podcasts for you, but as you probably are also experiencing, like December and the run up to December and the new year, it always gets like crazy, wild, and busy. I don't even know how, but it just does. So I need to get my priorities in order and get back into my routine. Wow, I can't even speak properly. Get back into a good routine of, business, training, you name it, healthy habits, all of it. Because if you were like me in December, it all kind of went out the window. Not all of it, because I've been in this space for so long. I know how to sort of adjust it and make sure that I still get all my trainings in and make sure that I kind of keep my nutrition on track. But even me, having been in this space for so long, I lost track of it a little bit. And that is absolutely fine, because it is not whether you are off track during the holidays. It is not whether you have gone to the gym every single time during the holidays or skipped it altogether. It's about what you do after. And you are probably listening to this, if you're listening to this on the date that I release this, which will be the 31st, so the last year of 2024. If you're listening to this now, it is time to start preparing for the new year, new me. This is when we all collectively decide to set new goals for ourselves and start fresh or start anew. And we have like a blank slate to begin again. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about in today's podcast, because our motivation is sky high in January, and then somewhere along the way we lose track and we lose our progress, and we sort of forget about the goals that we set in January, and then we kind of hope that it all works out still somehow, and then in between we try to get like a grip of our goals again and restart and redo it, and you go over that over and over and over again. And it's totally completely natural, because we're all just humans and we're all just trying to get to where we want to be, and emotions get in the way, life gets in the way, things happen, and sometimes you have no control over what happens in your life. But the thing that you do have control over is how you handle it, and how you manage your own goals and expectations, and how you live your life throughout those phases, throughout the things that are happening throughout the year. So, as a fitting topic for the last day of the year, we are going to be talking about how and what I would advise you to do to achieve your fitness and your body goals for 2025. So what would I do if I was starting from scratch and I wanted to get into the best shape of my life, and I wanted to get a grip of my goals and finally achieve the results that I was always after? So I'm going to walk you through what I would do and the goals and the things that I would set in place to do and achieve these results without falling off of the bandwagon in the new year, because it happens and life happens. So sorry about that. You may not notice because I'll cut it out, but I just wanted to make sure that everything was working. I had a weird feeling that maybe my mic was spazzing out, and I wanted to make sure that the audio was good. So we're back. So basically, as I was saying, we're going to be talking about what you can start setting into place and the tips and tricks that I would give you to start transforming your body in 2025 to finally have the body of your dreams this year and be the fittest, healthiest, best version of yourself, because that is what it's all about. And contrary to what you might think, just looking better is not the main or the only reason you should work towards your fitness goals. There are so many other benefits to it. Like, you're going to stay younger for longer. You're going to feel stronger. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to hold yourself more confidently, and you'll probably attract more experiences, more opportunities, even maybe more people, more relationships, maybe the person that you've always wanted to be with in your life when you feel better about yourself, because you gain confidence through fitness and taking care of your body and working from the inside out. So the one thing that I think is extremely important when you set out to achieve your goals for the new year, or when you set out to achieve any goal for that matter, it's not just in fitness, it's in literally anything. We all, if you're anything like me as well, you want to do everything at once. You want to hit the ground running. You want to be able to do it all at once and be good at it all at once. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And in a lot of cases, this is where it goes wrong. What we want to do is we often, when we start on the 1st of January or the 2nd of January, you want to tackle your nutrition, you want to tackle your training, you want to tackle your sleep, you want to tackle your stress, you want to tackle your rest and recovery. You want to do it all at once. And we don't just want to do it all at once. We want to do it all right at once. We want to immediately just be like, woohoo, we're rocking it. Immediately going to the gym 5 times a week, tracking my protein, tracking my calories. We want to be like this immediate fit girl, fit person, and have it all down on day one. Just like when you're starting a business, you want to be immediately hitting $1 million months, right? So, but it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. The problem with that is when you try to tackle everything at once, it doesn't work. Because what happens? You might be able to stick to your nutrition for a week, go to the gym 5 times a week for like a week or 2, and track your rest and recovery and do it all for 1 week. But then you quickly realize that it's so much change in 1 week that you can't sustain it. You can't stick to it. So what starts happening is you end up in this state of overwhelm, because you're like, oh my God, if this is what it means to be fit and healthy and get the body of my dreams, I can't do it. I won't be able to stick to it. It's the same with, like, even in my case, if you look at my bodybuilding past. So when I did my bodybuilding competition, I trained like 6 times a week, 2+ hours, tracked my calories, literally only lived on fish and vegetables. And I managed to last, and not many people will, but I managed to last on this diet for like 9 months and this training schedule for 9 months. And that's insane, right? So first of all, that's insane. No normal human being can actually like do that. I'm not normal, so there you go. But, and I was extremely committed. But still, even after those 9 months, I wasn't able to stick to it anymore. And even if I was able to stick to it, my quality of life was shit. My, like, my hormones were completely out of whack. They weren't functioning. So it's not something that is sustainable. When you try to do it like this, it just does not work. It does not work for the long run. And if you want results for the long run, I went through all of this so that you don't have to. And the only way to get results for the long run is to tackle one step at a time. And some of you might be able to adjust your nutrition and start training at the same time and manage to get results if it's something that you can fit into your schedule and doesn't like completely throw you off or make it difficult for you to sustain or make you believe that you can't sustain this long term. And the beauty of it is, if you want to achieve the results that you're looking to achieve, you do not need to be training 6 times a week, 2+ hours for every session. Like so many of us believe or used to believe, or I still hear it so often, that people think that the only way to get the body of their dreams is to train 2+ hours. 6 times a week. It's not sustainable for the most of us. So you don't need to do that. It is not necessary. You can literally achieve the body of your dreams by just training 3 times a week and focusing on certain changes in your nutrition. And I can show you exactly how to do that. And if you haven't already, on the 13th of January, I'm hosting a free Dream Body Challenge where we will be diving into how you can start implementing these steps. So just make sure to check the link in my show notes and you can join in. I'll see you on the 13th of January. That's going to help you even more. But for now, just listen to this podcast. But I just wanted to pop that in there. If you haven't signed up already, you can, and it's totally free. And I'm going to help you set those steps, set those fundamentals, and give you the key to achieving the results that you wanted. So taking smaller steps is one of the things that you need to start doing. And one of those things, one of the tips that really, really helps me explain it in a better way and helps my members understand it and grasp it better, and my clients also, is when we put an extreme amount of pressure on ourselves to get something done, and I know this from experience in different parts of my life, when we put extreme amounts of pressure on ourselves, some people thrive under this, but others don't. And I'm one of those that it can go either or, but in the long run, I don't strive, because when you put this amount of pressure on yourself, so for example, you've told yourself, I'm going to go train 5 times a week and I need to lose 10 kg before April or March, right? That's crazy. That's crazy goals, okay? It doesn't mean that you can't do it, but you're putting this amount of pressure on yourself. And when you put that amount of pressure on yourself and you put the ladder so high for yourself to reach, you put this intense amount of pressure on yourself. You're telling yourself you have to do this to achieve these results. What ends up happening is you start feeling like you're going to fail because it's a crazy goal that you're trying to reach. And so when you fall off the bandwagon once and you can only make it to the gym 3 times the 1 week, you start beating yourself up. And when you start beating yourself up, you're in this loop of not achieving the results that you want. Because first of all, who wants to be beat up? Nobody wants to be beat up. Does that seem motivating to you? For me, it doesn't. When I was talking myself down and I wasn't being kind to myself, I wasn't motivated. I was just feeling deflated, exhausted, defeated, and unhappy with myself. And the result of that was me gaining weight, and not because I fell off the bandwagon, which some of you might when you start beating yourself up, but it was because my body was literally going, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I need to protect myself from your abuse, because that's what your body does. Your body speaks to you. It communicates with you. The reason it holds on to fat in certain areas of the body is because it's protecting itself from you beating yourself up. And that's a story for another day. And that's hopefully what my next podcast is going to be about. I'm going to be speaking about how your body is constantly reflecting how you feel on the inside and what you're doing to yourself. And that's why we need to tackle the inside as well as the outside. This is also something that we are going to be covering inside the challenge this year. I haven't covered this before, but I feel it's so incredibly important for you to get the results that you need to achieve, to be tackling the inside as well as the outside, because otherwise you're not going to get lasting results, because I've been there. So what happens is when you try to do it out of overwhelm and pressure and forcing yourself to do something because otherwise you're not successful, you're not going to get where you want to be. And even if you get there, it will not last. And I know this from experience. So instead of making an entire list of things that you need to do as of the 1st of January and change in your life, try to make it more bite-sized. Try to make it more like something that you can achieve, because the only way that you are going to be successful is if you stay consistent. And when you put this giant list of things to do in front of you, what is going to happen is you might stay consistent for a day or two or a week or two, but then you're going to realize it is not sustainable and you can't live up to your own expectations. And when you cannot live up to your own expectations, you end up quitting or giving up or you end up beating yourself up for not doing enough when maybe you're doing enough. But because you feel like you're not doing enough, you quit or you beat yourself up. And both of those things are not going to get you where you want to be. So number one, take smaller steps. Start looking at your fitness journey and your goals like an experiment. Make it playful, make it fun. So instead of like, you need to do this, you need to train 3 times a week, you need to track your calories, you can only eat fish, and it sounds like it sounds like not a fun boot camp. It sounds like prison. I don't know, actually, because I've never been in prison. But it doesn't sound fun. So why would you want to do it? It sounds like torture. And who wants to go through torture? Not me. I'm okay. I mean, I've put myself through enough torture. I think I'm fine. So instead, make it more fun. Make it more exciting. Like, do you think, for example, if you have a toddler or a child, when you make it like scary and like torture and abuse, do you think your child wants to go through that? Think of yourself as that child. You don't want to go through that. So make it more exciting and fun. Like I said, like an experiment. So go into it with an inquisitive mindset. So like, oh my God, I wonder if I was consistent for 3 weeks, what would happen? I wonder if I increased my protein intake, what would happen? Start experimenting with yourself. I wonder what would happen if I stuck to this structured workout program. I wonder if then I would get results. Do you see how much more light and airy it becomes? Do you see how much more fun it becomes? Like, ooh, I'm so curious about what will happen if I do this. I wonder what will happen if I eat a protein rich meal with every meal that I eat. And then when you go into it more like that, it doesn't sound like pressure. It doesn't sound like abuse or punishment. It sounds like an experiment that you're trying out to see where you're going to get, which gives it more room and flow and allows you to kind of play around with it. So that is the first thing that I would do. And then once you've identified like how you are going to take the small steps, identify which small step you can start implementing in the first week. So maybe start with working out, or even just Googling workouts, or even just finding a coach like me, or even just like following a challenge or signing up for a challenge. That's one small step that you're taking to achieving your body goals, and that's a massive win already. So start looking into things like that, and then take that first step. Once you're successful with one of those first steps, so for example, you decided to choose increasing your protein intake. Once you're successful for the first week or the first 2 weeks with increasing your protein intake, then you can add that as a win, and it gets more exciting because you're like, hey, I can do this. So then what you do next is you start adding in your workouts. Or if you feel like you're confident with both, like adding in more protein and doing those workouts, then do both. But don't go like above and beyond. Does that make sense? Like, yes, you can eventually go above and beyond, but do it in a way that you know that you can stick to it. So if you know for a fact you can make it to the gym once or twice throughout the week, then start with that. Once you get comfortable with that and it feels effortless to fit that into your schedule and to do it, that doesn't mean that every single day you're going to be excited to do it, but it means that it's fit into your schedule. Now you've scheduled that in, you've proven to yourself that you can do it, and it's becoming part of your life. You can take the next step and start increasing the frequency or increasing the intensity of your workouts, or adding in counting your steps, or adding in tracking some more foods, or making some more like investments in this, in yourself, in your body. So you can decide to join a workout program, or you can decide to hire a trainer or a coach to take it to the next level. And if you want someone to guide you every step of the way in the beginning, then do that. If it feels comfortable, make it easier for yourself. Make it so that you know you can stick to it long term, because it's a phenomena. It's literally a phenomena. in gyms that everybody starts out strong in January. Like I've worked in gyms and people are like, oh my God, it's going to be very busy in January. And then in February, can you believe it? In February, it already starts dropping off. That is how quickly we quit. That is how quickly, wow, I cannot say it. Quickly we let go of these new habits. It's because we haven't factored in how we can do this in the long run, and we overcomplicate it for ourselves, and then we also overestimate how much we can do, and it's not going to get you where you want to be. So yes, start with less, and I promise you, when you start with less, you'll get better results. So you don't need to go to the gym 5 times a week. Literally 3 times a week is more than enough. You don't need to change your entire diet. Just making adjustments will be enough. So that is what I would do. Take small steps. Identify which steps you want to take. Also, before you do any of this, make sure that you're clear on what the goal is that you want to achieve, and maybe find someone that can guide you, like me, like someone else, whoever you feel comfortable with. Because sometimes, yes, and it's okay. I started out, when I first really started understanding training and nutrition, the first time I actually started seeing results was when I worked with a trainer, because this trainer knew what I needed to do. And find yourself a good one, not one that's full of shit, but because there's lots of those out there. But you know what I mean? So it's good to have like some guidance in the beginning. It's the same with anything else that you're going to do. If you want to build your business, you're going to find a mentor to help you out, to get that set up. Same with training and nutrition. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you are going to just be trying everything until, with trial and error, you've done it so many times that you're bored of it and you're not going to get where you want to be, and you feel like you want to give up because you feel like nothing works because you haven't had the right approach yet. So take the shortcut. Literally just take the shortcut. Why not? It will spare you time, money, and effort, and you will be so much happier for it. The greatest investment you will make is always in yourself. I truly believe that, because I've invested multiple times in myself, and every single time it has been worth it. Sometimes more than others, but then eventually looking back, those other times were worth it as well. So that is my advice to you. That is literally my advice to you. Take smaller steps. Look at it more like it's an experiment, and try to tackle things that you know that you can start implementing in your life immediately, right now. And that won't cost too much energy of you, because when you have to overthrow your entire life to achieve a certain result, you are going to give up. You are also not going to be able to stick to it. And even if you do stick to it for a longer period of time, like I did, eventually it will fail when it's too extreme. It will. And I had to go through that. And I don't need you to go through that if you don't need to, because that's why I went through it, so that I can warn you for that and actually get you results in a shorter amount of time with less effort. So those are the main things. Another thing that I want you to make sure that you bear in mind when you're achieving the goals that you want to achieve, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. So when you're looking to achieve a specific body type, do it for yourself. Whenever you're doing it for external validation, so if you're doing it for a boyfriend, a partner, to show off to friends, to post on social media, to prove it to someone else, you're probably doing it for the wrong reason. So make sure you're doing it for yourself. Believe me, when you work on yourself, for yourself, on your body, for yourself, again, it translates so much differently, and you will be able to hold on to those results so much more easily because you're doing it for the right reasons. That is why it is also so important to work from the inside out, because if you're just going through the motions and you're not emotionally working through your internal beliefs about yourself, so your self-body image and how you feel about yourself and all of these things, when you don't work through those things, what ends up happening is you're actually not fixing the problem. when you are constantly beating yourself up and you're unhappy with how you look, and then you achieve a certain result in the gym or through working out or through your diet, you will still have those specific glasses on where you will look at yourself as if you're not good enough. That will not go away until you work on the internal. And you know, the beauty of that is that once you work on the internal, your body will respond externally so much quicker because you're working with your body instead of against it. It is all about working in harmony with your body and with yourself instead of forcing yourself to go somewhere that you cannot go. That does not mean that you should take it like, I don't know, there's always this fine balance of like, don't find excuses not to do certain things, but make sure that you're working with your body instead of against it. So you will always know internally if you're finding an excuse not to take a certain step, or if you're not taking a certain step or doing a certain thing because you know it's right for you right now. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I'm just rambling on, but in the end, it sounds coherent. So it's just everything that's coming out that I feel like you need to hear right now. And I think that those are the most important things that you need to focus on when you set your goals for 2025. Don't force yourself through something. Make sure you're working with your body. Make sure that you're taking small, doable steps so that you can actually get lasting results. It's not worth it if next year you're going to be in the exact same spot after a few months. You want to make sure that you're going to get where you want to be and you're going to stay there or grow further from there. That's what we want, right? That's what it's all about. It's not worth it if you're not going to be able to sustain these goals and have to go through the process again. Well, it will be worth it in the end, but that's also another topic for another day. But it's more worth it if you just do it the first time or the second time, or I don't know how many times you've done this, but if this time you get it down and you finally unlock that potential in yourself and you finally see your true potential and work with yourself, that is when things start transforming. So I'll just recap for you a little bit. First of all, look at your goals like an experiment. Look at your fitness journey like an experiment. Make it fun. Make it playful for yourself. Take small steps. Take one step at a time. Make sure that you can sustain these steps. Set a good goal for yourself. Like, imagine what is the best version of yourself. What does that person look like? Because that is the person you are. That is who you are, and that is who you will be. So that is going to happen. It's inevitable if you take the right actions. Then make sure to find a coach to guide you that you trust and believe in, just at least in the beginning, so that you know what you're doing. Those YouTube videos aren't going to get you where you want to be eventually. It's so much better to find someone that can guide you and that you know and trust and will show you the ropes if you're willing to. It helps. It truly helps. That's how I got where I wanted to be. And then believe in yourself. Work on the internal. If you do not tackle the internal, you will be back where you started eventually because you haven't actually worked on the root cause of why you feel a certain way about yourself or why you are where you are today. And that could be in a good place or a bad place, but you can be in an even better place. That's what I'm talking about. Like, when you work on the internal, magic starts happening. People start becoming more attracted to you in business, in love, in friendships, in all aspects of life, because you're taking care of yourself and you're seeing your full potential, so other people will too. And also make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Do it for you, nobody else. Do it for you, for your own growth, so that you can be a better version of yourself. That is what you should be doing it for. And to start taking these steps, you can join me for free. On the 13th of January, I will be hosting a free Dream Body Challenge. Some of you may have already followed it, but next year, it's so weird that in like literally a day, it's going to be 2025 already. Time is going so fast, so there's no time to waste. On January the 13th, 2025, I will be hosting a free Dream Body Challenge. And this year, I decided to add in a different component to the challenge where I will be also tackling the internal as well as the external. So we're going to be talking about what internal shifts you need to start making to achieve the results that you want so that you can get lasting results, and why your body could be holding on to fat in certain areas of the body and how to tackle that. So it is really going to be an even better challenge than I've ever hosted before. And the link will be in the show notes. So make sure to join, and I'll see you on the 13th of January if you feel like I'm the right coach for you. And also, it's not going to cost you anything. It's free. So you can just join and at least have the fundamentals to achieving your body goals, because I'll be sharing some real golden tips in there so that you don't have to search on Google anymore for all of these random questions and actually just have them at your fingertips. So that's what we'll be doing. And if you ever have any questions, you are always welcome to email me at info@nukesfitness.com, or also my Instagram is linked below. So just give me or send me a DM, and I will be happy to answer any and all of your questions, because it is my mission to empower as many of you as possible to be the best version of yourself. And that is not just your best physique, but all round, because part of it is your body, is feeling good in your body. And so much more follows after you feel good in your body. So that's what it's all about. Anyways, Happy New Year to anybody who's listening. I hope you have amazing celebrations. Make sure to grab this year by the balls and make it something beautiful, and forget about all the food that you ate over Christmas. Just remember the memories that you made and the enjoyment that you had. And now tomorrow is a fresh day, so you're going to start fresh. So leave all the baggage in 2024 and let's start new. And with a fresh mind, fresh goals, fresh motivation, you've got this. I know you have. Now, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast and you feel like you got a lot of value out of it, it would mean the world to me if you would rate and review the podcast and share it with someone who you feel like would get a lot of value out of it. In the meantime, come hang out with me on my Instagram @ManookFink, or join my free challenge, which will be linked in the show notes. It's academy.nukesfitness.com/join-challenge. If you can't remember that name, check the links in the show notes, and I hope to see you there.